Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Creature Feature. My name is Allison Ginsberg. I am the Manager of Animal Training and Enrichment here at the zoo. Today we're coming at you live from our tiger habitat, where we will be learning all about animal training with our male tiger, Amur tiger, Samka. Now we will be wrapping up this week learning about all the different ways that we care for our animals. And animal training is one of those great ways that we can ensure that we are able to take the best care and do those veterinary procedures, behaviors that you actually learned about on Wednesday with our harbor seals. So we're joined by Fran today and Samka, who is going to be having a birthday on Monday. He will be turning 8 years old. And Fran will be running through a number of different behaviors where we can get a great look at the animal, and either we can do that each and every morning so that we can look at their bodies, as well as prepare them for any sort of veterinary exam that they may have.
Hi everyone. So like Allison said, we are working with our male Amur tiger today, Samka, and he will again be turning 8 years old. We're going to run through a few little short behaviors here today. It is kind of slippery, so we're going to keep that nice and simple for him and make sure that he stays very engaged. Paw? Good boy. So when we're asking these behaviors, we got to see a good presentation of his paws. There we go. He's very excited because he knows he's getting a lot of food. So he's going to try and give me everything all at once. I'm going to do an up. At this point, we can check out his whole underbelly when he holds it. Good. So that's not an area we're going to see very often on a predator. That's a very vulnerable spot for them, but we want to make sure we can see it, make sure that it doesn't have any injuries.
So Allison, can you tell us a little bit about what positive reinforcement training is?
Absolutely. So positive reinforcement training, a lot of really technical jargon in that sentence. All that means is that we reward or reinforce behavior we want to see them do again. And you can see that working through them and working through that relationship, this is all very positive for Samka. He knows he gets a full belly no matter what he does each and every day. So engaging the animals in this way really helps to exercise their minds. It helps to strengthen the bonds between the animal and the zoologist or animal caretaker here. And it's a great way for us to ensure that they're really actively engaged. A lot of people don't know that these are behaviors that they may actually be able to do, well, maybe not quite the same ones as a tiger, but that they may do at home with their dogs.
So what happens if Samka doesn't do the behavior that you're looking for?
If Samka doesn't do the behavior that we're looking for, absolutely nothing happens. We just move on. Fran has the opportunity. She can ask for the behavior again. She can move on to ask him for a different behavior. So there's absolutely no consequence whatsoever. We just move right on with the session.
On top of that, if he doesn't do a behavior I'm asking him for, we're going to figure out why he's not doing that behavior. So sometimes with cats, especially as we roll into these summer months, time of day might be an important factor to consider when we're working with the cats. Cats like to sleep about 18 hours or rest 18 hours a day, and then they're quite active at their dawn and dusk hunting periods. So maybe doing a training session at 1 in the afternoon might not be a perfect example when we get into peak summer. But doing it earlier in the morning, say about 10, they might be a lot more engaged. Okay?
That's a perfect time to also talk about that relationship. As we've mentioned on Wednesday, and we talked a lot about today already in that relationship, Fran knows Samka very well. So she may be able to go up for a session and go, you know what, it's that time of day, Samka looks kind of sleepy. He may not really be interested, so I'm going to come back in a little while.
We have a few questions here that we can start answering. How big is Samka, and how big do Amur tigers get?
Samka currently weighs in about 193 kilos, so about 350 to 400 pounds, give or take. And a well-fed adult male can weigh in at about 600 to 800 pounds. And at that point, their paws are the size of dinner plates, whereas Sam's right now are a little bigger than mine. Maybe a dessert plate.
Olivia was just asking, what are we going to be doing for Samka's birthday on Monday?
Well, we're going to save a little bit of that to a bit of a surprise, so we'll see that coming up on Monday. But what I can tell you is he's going to get what every birthday party gets, some new toys. We're going to have a birthday cake, carnivore style, and some presents.
We have a few people asking what tigers eat and what we'd be feeding to Samka right now.
On a day-to-day, he gets about 5 kilos of meat. Now, tigers are obligate carnivores, so that means they have to eat meat all the time to stay healthy. They're not a fan of their veggies and fruits. And here at the zoo, they get a variety of 6 different types of meats. So we vary up what we give them so they don't get bored of their daily diet. We vary up when we feed, how we feed, how much we feed at each sitting. So you're not eating the same thing every single day at every single meal. Because if we ate, say, peanut butter and jam sandwiches every single day, we're going to get pretty bored pretty quick.
We have a question from Andrea asking, how many teeth do tigers have?
They have very big teeth, and I believe it's in the 30s. 32, I think.
So what would be the purpose of seeing Samka's paw like that?
We want to make sure that all of his pads on his feet, just like our dogs and cats at home, we can look those over, make sure there's not cuts. Especially when it's the melting season we're in right now, that's really important. If there's any sticks that are starting to pop up through the snow, we want to make sure that he hasn't, hurt his paws or cut them open or anything like that.
Some questions about how long do tigers live? What's their lifespan?
Here in the zoo world, they can live to about their mid-teens to mid-20s. But in the wild, if they reach 10 or 12, that would be a very long life for them. Oh, come look at the camera. Good boy.
I'm going to just try to get a little bit closer to Samka here, right behind Fran. See if we can see those big teeth we were talking about.
So those canine teeth, they can grow to about 4 centimeters, give or take, and they have quite a wide width on them. They are the biggest cat in the cat family, which ultimately means they have the biggest teeth in the cat family. One more. Oh, he's a good boy.
Some people are asking, why do tigers have stripes? And we had a question earlier today on Facebook about are tigers born with their stripes?
So to answer the last one first, yes, they are born with their stripes. Those stripes actually go all the way down to their skin. So even if they do lose a patch of fur, whether they're tussling with each other as they grow up or rub against a tree, you can still see that stripe pattern. And they are as unique to them as your fingerprint is to you. The importance of their stripes, it really helps them blend into their forest environment where they would naturally be found. They like the jungles, they like to be able to sneak up on their prey, and the stripes really help them blend in with the trees behind them there as they walk through.
We had a couple other questions about enrichment. What kind of enrichment does Samka enjoy? We learned a little bit about that on Wednesday with the seals and on Monday with the meerkats. So how is that different for a tiger?
Well, tigers make a bigger dent into their enrichment items. For him, he really likes to interact with us as part of his enrichment. And then on top of that, he likes things that occasionally he can tear apart, which hopefully you'll see on Monday.
Question here, how old will Samka be on his birthday?
He's going to be 8 years old. So Samka was born at the Calgary Zoo as a litter of 3. He moved here at 1.5 years old, so he's been with us for quite a few years now. He actually moved here with his brother Vasily, and then Vasily moved on to Toronto about 1.5 years ago.
We had a question pop up here. Do the animal care professionals ever go into the exhibits with the tigers? That is a no. These guys do not get visitors in their exhibit.
No, we don't. That would be very painful, and I would not be here to talk to you. We like to keep our boundaries, so Sam is always going to stay on his side of the fence, and I'm always going to stay on my side of the fence, and we have a lot of locks and safety protocols to make sure that happens. I like to be able to be here to talk to you and tell you all about Sam, so we're going to keep a respectful distance from each other.
We can. Well, Bo was sleeping on them.
Looks like Samka's just finishing up with some of his treats. Question here, how fast can they run?
they can run up to about 65 kilometers an hour. So it's a very short span of energy that they're going to do. They want to sneak up on that prey and pounce as fast and as quick, as hard as possible. They have very, very strong back legs to help them pounce towards that prey.
A question here, how many tigers are there in the zoo?
In our zoo right now, we actually have two, one male and one female. They are neighbors to each other, and that's how a tiger would normally live in the wild. So we try and mimic that here as best we can. They are solitary by nature, really only coming together during the breeding season. And they're going to have a lot of different ways to communicate with each other to make sure that there isn't too much of an interaction before breeding season. They'd rather flee than fight. Fighting can be painful.
So Fran has worked with the tigers for a long time. So I'd just like to know, what are some of your favorite memories with Samka, and what are some of your favorite things about him in particular?
Samka is a big goof. He has a big heart. And in saying that, he's also a very sensitive boy. So for being a tiger, you would expect him to be big and strong and impressive. But sometimes the smallest things or changes can make them nervous. So that is something that we're aware of with Sam, is new things. He likes to investigate them on his own timeline.
We have a question here from Renee. Are these tigers endangered?
They are endangered, yeah. There are about 500 or so left of the Amur tiger left in the wild. And so as a result, they are part of our species survival breeding program. So these two tigers we have here are part of the program, but at this point they don't have a recommendation to breed with each other.
We also had a question, do tigers have any predators in the wild?
We are their biggest predators, unfortunately. The decline in numbers that we see with tigers is ultimately a result of deforestation. So we're going to take down their habitat, unfortunately, as we sprawl into different foresty areas. And poaching. A lot of people still believe that they have magical qualities as part of their body parts, and unfortunately their bodies are just made up of the same things you and I are, so there's no real benefit there.
We have a question, how much do they sleep in a day? And I had a question earlier today on Facebook about where do they sleep?
Well, these guys are spoiled. We give them lots of different areas that they can find comfy to sleep in. They have lots of big straw beds, multiple platforms if they want a higher advantage before they close their eyes. They also have indoor sleeping areas as well. And they can sleep and rest about 18 hours a day.
He's so photogenic.
He really knows how to work it for the camera.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We hope you learned a lot about Samka and really enjoyed seeing this gorgeous animal. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but he is definitely one of my favorites here at the zoo. We want to also thank you for sticking with us all week and learning about our animals. We look forward to seeing you again next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for our next creature features, where we'll take you to a couple new areas around the zoo. Thank you everybody, and be safe.
Bye, Samka.